Combat Talk with the King. Alright, so we had Jacobs versus Chavez, and that was a hot mess because your boy Chavez was trying to do everything in his world not to make this fight happen. And the fight had to happen, you know, because Danny Jacobs picked this dude. Alright, Chavez had a name. You can see little things in him, but you know, the kid don't have what his father has. His father has that stuff. Kid don't got that stuff, you know. So, and when I'm talking about that stuff, I'm talking about that down deep, that dirty, that grind. The kid don't got it. You know, Chavez Jr. don't have it. He had, you know, he has to live up to his pops. But then, you know, Danny Jacobs goes up to super middleweight to fight this dude, and actually he came in a little bit under. Chavez came in overweight, and you got to say, you know, the fact that this man didn't want to take a test, you know, drug testing, that lets you know a lot of stuff right there, you know. And I don't know what narcotics or anything that he's on. I can't presume to say that I know things or accuse the man of things. But if you don't want to take a drug test, i.e. it talks for itself. All right. So that in the drug test, anybody that knows, banned substances and unbanned substances will actually show up. All right. So we have Danny Jacobs. He comes in clean. He actually comes in a little bit underweight, but his body is tight. He's tight. He's mentally in a good place. You can see it. What we always worried about with Danny Jacobs is his chin. You know, oh boy has punching power. He has boxing skills, but does he have the chin? And you feel Chavez was coming in at a cruiserweight size. You know, boy was 180, 185 going in that ring, and you could tell he was bigger than him. And he was throwing his punches. He was a bigger man. So after a couple of rounds go past and Danny Jacobs is not bending, not folding, not breaking, not disappearing, and he's actually giving, you know, Chavez, you know, as good as he gets. Because, you know, Chavez was going to that body. Yeah. And Danny Jacobs took that. So you have to think what's going on in Chavez's mind, right? Now we got to think about the mental capacity of the individual that we're talking about here. The mental capacity of the individual is going to look for a way out. So that manifests itself later on in the fight when Danny Jacobs was warming up to it, because he had to get acclimated to that weight. Chavez was carrying a severe weight over him. So he got acclimated to the weight, and he started giving and taking, and he started being comfortable in exchanges, and he caught Chavez at the bridge of his nose. At that point, Chavez decided that he don't want any more smoke. I don't know if he had a panic attack. It takes a lot to be inside this ring. You know, people don't understand that. It takes a different measure of a man. It's not anything that's easy. It's not anything that's light. And for that man to be in front of 10,000 fans that actually showed up for him, and for him to quit and to be sitting under the tutelage of his father, which his father, you know, his father don't want to admit it, but I saw his father quit twice. Quit with Oscar De La Hoya. Saw him try to quit with Sweet Pea, you know, and another fight as well. So, but his boy had that same problem, and instead of showing sympathy and empathy, this man felt that it was okay to show that level of disrespect to his son. Kind of sucks. Reminds me of that last Rocky movie. You know, my heart goes out to Chavez. Any man that walks in that ring with them gloves on is a warrior. And for you to fold in that manner, you have a lot of personal demons in your life. Salute Danny Jacobs for going and securing that win and pushing on to greater pastures. He got rid of his trainer, which I think this is a good idea, because his trainer was actually holding him back. When Danny is supposed to be fighting, his trainer has him passively not moving forward. So Danny is at a different place in his life right now, and that's necessary. All right, Jermell Charlo versus Tony Harrison. Boy, part 2. That boy Tony Harrison talking all that mess, talking all that crap. And what we have here is we have talent versus skill. All right? And God-given talent. You know, God-given talent is a blessing. And if you're able to box with God-given talent, it's a blessing. So, your man Tony Harrison got to come up the first fight. I actually thought Jermell won, to be honest with you. Thought he put in more work. Not saying that Tony wasn't, you know, using his jab, using his right hand, using his distance, trying. I just thought that Charlo put in more work than he did, to be honest with you. So, at the end of the day, when it boils down to it, you got Jermell Charlo, the younger Charlo brother, who isn't as articulate, and he doesn't come off as confident as his bigger brother. Now, mind you, they're twins. All right, so we're talking semantics here. We're talking seconds, probably minutes between births with these individuals. So when Charlo doesn't display the same mentality as his brother, people take him for, you know, they take him for the weaker brother, which is not true. Boy's a knockout artist. Boy is a complete savage inside that ring. When he steps in between those ropes, he gets inside that squared circle. He's a totally different beast. He's just found zen in his life. He went through some harsh times, and he found peace in his family. He's found zen in his life, and he's trying to live that life. But what happened was Tony Harrison caught him slipping at that point in time. Honestly, I think behind the scenes, they just wanted to create some type of rivalry and give this man a loss to reignite that fire. You don't know what happens behind the scenes. So the first fight, you know, I thought Charlo won. Tony Harrison gave a good account of himself. But guess who won? Who walked out that ring with that belt? Tony did. Tony got that belt. Now we're looking at the situation like, oh boy, buddy, you got to run that back. So they set the fight up for the run back, right? Guess what happened? Tony Harrison fakes an injury. Everybody in the industry believes that he fakes the industry, believes that he faked the injury. I got a report from somebody, an insider, that it was all concocted. He thought he was going to get a fight first before he fights the champ, because the date was already set. So he figured, if I miss this date and he fights, he's not ready for the next fight. Now they held him back. Promoter held him back. You're going to fight that. You're going to get that run back. You're going to run that back. All right? So Tony got the fight. He got the run back. He has to go do it. Now, what I've been noticing through this whole promotion, through this whole thing, Tony Harrison has been at a different level of, a whole total level of disrespect. All right, he's trying to provoke Charlo. He's been trying to provoke Charlo to get this fight taken off the docket. He's been trying to provoke Charlo to a point that it gets physical before the fight, so he can get fined, the fight can get postponed, and he doesn't have to fight this man. Tony Harrison doesn't really want to fight Charlo. That's evident at the weigh-in. At the weigh-in, Tony Harrison actually smacked Charlo's hand. You know, Charlo was talking to him like, yeah, you know, this, that, and the third. And Tony Harrison smacked his hand. Boy, that's uncool. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to pay for, but actually physically thinking that you're going to demean a man verbally, and then physically you're going to smack his hand. And they had to give Charlo a hug, because you have to understand where old boy's brain at. His brain is on kill mode. They done starved. They done got down to weight. They done been away from their family. And it doesn't take much to set a man off at this state. You know, he's at this point in time. It doesn't take a lot to set a man off, because he's ready to fight. He knows the fight is imminent. That's all he wants to do. I see this fight going, it could go 12 rounds. But nah, I see Charlo catching him because Charlo doesn't want to go to the judges. Charlo was complacent. What Charlo needs to do is use his jab more. What he worries about is landing that power shot. And he was too in love with the power shot. He has to land the jab more, set up his punches, set up that right hand, set up that hook. Tony Harrison, all you have to do is just stand tall and box. You're a taller man. You're the longer man. Pause. So you'll be able to keep him at a distance, use that right hand, move that head. Don't get caught with nothing reckless. And maybe you might hold on to that belt. But my prediction is this fight is a TKO, Charlo, and 10. It's Combat Talk with the King. Catch you guys later. This is King on the Run, baby. Got stuff to do. Happy winter solstice. I want everybody to reflect. Enjoy yourself. This is a great time. See y'all next fight.